P2 at the end of that one. How do you sum up the session from your side? Another 1-2 for Mercedes.
Yeah, no. The pace is very strong. Just didn't put the lap together at the end on the soft. So yeah, still work to do. But obviously, congrats to George and all to play for tomorrow.
Yeah, looking forward to the sprint tomorrow. Another chance to go at it. How are you feeling in the car in general? Where do you think maybe those couple of tenths are missing at the moment?
I mean, I'm feeling good in the car. So there's obviously it's more about details, trying to put all together. But yeah, tomorrow we'll try to have a good start and then try to have a good quali.
Good to see a smile on your face. Does that feel better, even though we heard maybe you lost a little bit of deployment on the straight?
Yeah, I'm just happy with the result. I've not seen what I lost and gained and whatever, but no, P3 is as good as we can do it for the time being. Actually pretty happy to beat both the Ferraris today because they seem pretty good the whole day, so no, satisfied. Good position for tomorrow. Certainly things have been better this weekend just because the track's a lot more simple from that side of things, from a power unit side of things, so everyone kind of falls in line a bit more, but we certainly seemed to get a good amount out of it at the end, and it was close, so a good lap put me in a good position.
You're one of the teams we've seen have some good starts lately. Is that your best opportunity against these Mercedes?
I mean, I don't expect them to get bad starts, to be honest. They've always, for years, they've been one of the best starters. It's an opportunity for sure. I think they know what they did wrong last weekend in Melbourne, and they'll probably be fine tomorrow, but you never know. It's a good opportunity. It's the easiest place to overtake, was off the line, so we'll see what we can do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
P5 at the end of that one. How do you sum it up on your side? How was that final run, the car feeling?
It was reasonable. I think the step in grip from the medium to the soft was pretty big. But yeah, obviously the gap to Mercedes is pretty impressive. So some things for us to try and work on. But I think the car felt pretty good. It was a pretty decent lap. So yeah, I don't think there was too much left.
Have you got any more answers about that gap and looking ahead to the rest of the weekend? Of course, the sprint format, you can change things after the sprint race.
No, I think sector 1 we seemed good, obviously, but yeah, 6/10 in the last sector is impressive. So we'll go and have a look at where we're losing the time.
It sounded like a bit of a tricky one. We heard something about you hitting a toggle a couple of times. How did it go on your side? Can you talk us through it?
Yeah, very frustrating session. I mean, first the toggle, then unfortunately when I had a good lap, I lost half a second in the back straight for whatever reason on the second lap in SQ3. So we'll analyze that and try to understand what has gone wrong.
Where does this leave you for the rest of the weekend? And we also saw, of course, you tried the new rear wing in FP1 and took it off for sprint quali. Can you talk us through that decision and your outlook for the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, it doesn't really change the picture from where we are. I think in the race we should be relatively a bit stronger than where we were now in qualifying. However, Mercedes seems to be still a step ahead. In qualifying, for some reason, the Mercedes power unit finds a lot of lap time. We don't quite find that amount of lap time just yet in qualifying, but in the race we are closer, so I'm still hopeful we can come back tomorrow.
To you, but overall, are you pleased with the session?
Yeah, really pleased with the session. My team did a really great job. My engineers did a fantastic job to turn the car around, because in P1 was a tricky session with that spin, and the car generally felt great. It's just I think we're losing. I think it is on the straights. It's a lot of time to be losing. So yeah, we have a lot of work to do. We really have to push so hard at the back in Maranello to improve on power. It was something that I think we were conscious of last year, that we thought that Mercedes started earlier than us or the rest, which they did last time as well. So they've done a fantastic job, and we've got to step up. We've got to push to be able to close that gap. I think car-wise, the cars feels great, and I think we can compete with them through corners. But when you're down on power, it's the way it is.
Can you just talk to me about that wing? I know you tried it in FP1, but it went back to the Melbourne wing for qualifying.
Yeah.
What's the feeling about it?
I don't really know why we went back on it. I think we rushed it to get it here, and it was not supposed to be on the cards till I think it was like race 4 or 5 or something like that. So they did a great job to rush it here, and we only had 2 of them, and it was maybe a little bit premature. So we took it off. The car was still great, and we'll work to try and bring it back when it's ready.
Sounded like a tough session. Can you tell us what you were dealing with in the car? We heard about downshifts and the gears, but what else were you dealing with?
No, I mean, the whole day has been a disaster pace-wise. So, yeah, no grip. I honestly, I think that's the biggest problem. No grip, no balance. Just losing massive amounts of time in the corners, to be honest. And then, of course, because of that, you start triggering other little problems. But the big problem for us is just the cornering is, completely out.
You've got this car for the sprint race, but can you make some big changes for qualifying and the main Grand Prix in that case? Can you try something different or aggressive with the setup, or is that not possible?
We'll have a look. I mean, I don't know at the moment what we can do. But yeah, we'll see.
All right, thanks, Matt. Great job today, Ollie. That looked like a good session for you.
Yeah, it was good. Sprint Quali 3, we showed really good pace already from pretty much lap 1 of FP1, and we were able to build on that and go forward. It was a tough session. The balance was a bit on edge and difficult to put the lap together, but we got there in the end and happy with P9 today.
We saw you really pushing it out there on track as well. So what about this sprint tomorrow? Can you get into that top 8 and bring home a point or two for the team, do you feel?
Yeah, that's the plan. On the face of it, I'm quite impressed and surprised about the gap to the leaders. We seem to have closed it a little bit compared to last week, and honestly, prior to the weekend, I was not expecting to be in the fight for the top 8 because we expected the 4 teams to be so far ahead. At the end, that was not really the case, and Red Bulls don't seem to have incredible pace, and it looks like if we get everything right tomorrow, we can actually score some points, and then obviously in the race on Sunday, that's where it gets serious.
What have the team told you about the issue?
Yeah, it was a fuel pump issue. Unfortunately, we've been struggling in that area already for a long time, far too long. So it is very frustrating. We haven't been able to solve it, and it's been already a lot of times that we've been with that issue.
Will they be able to fix it for the sprint tomorrow?
I don't know. I think obviously the team is working really hard back at home as well, and we'll see if they're able to fix it or not. We had the same issue this morning, so the running has been very limited so far. So yeah, hopefully we are able to do it.
So it doesn't sound like a small issue. Is it a fundamental thing?
Yeah. I mean, we've been having this sort of issue since testing started. So we haven't come up with a solution, and I really hope that soon we can have it.
Hi, Valtteri.
Hello.
I heard a message on the radio about deployment issues. How much did that impact your session?
A lot. Sadly, it was a bit of a waste of a session. We had a big issue on each lap. I think it was something to do with programming. So yeah, we need to see that issue. Otherwise, quite difficult to say where we would have ended up.
Is it going to affect you in the sprint tomorrow? Is it something they can fix in time?
I think it's going to be separate. I think with the ERS, with the power unit, it's quite a different settings between race mode and sustainable running and quality running. So I would imagine we should be able to fix that.
Carlos, just missing out on SQ2. I know when we spoke yesterday, you're expecting to be in a difficult position for quite a few races. Is this just the reality of the situation for Williams at the moment?
Yeah, for sure, and even more so in a track like this where you're very downforce dependent and also very weight dependent, and we know we lag in these two areas. So yeah, it was always going to be a difficult weekend for us. It started more or less where we expected to be, fighting to get out of Q1, maybe with a perfect FP1 where I could have run, and we hit again reliability issues, and potentially maybe you can think about fighting for Q2, but for that we need a clean weekend, and so far it hasn't started that way either. So yeah, many issues from Australia carrying over here, and we need to keep getting on top of them.
With that in mind, how do you approach the rest of the weekend? Is it a bit of a test session for the team, maybe finding some answers to some lingering questions?
Yeah, we're trying different things, testing different things. We will use the weekend to do so, and also to get myself up to speed, because FP2 in Australia I didn't run almost, FP3 I didn't run, Quali I didn't run, FP1 here I didn't run. So you can imagine I'm a few sessions down to the rest of the field and to the knowledge of the car.
Alex, just tell me how you found that session.
Tricky. We were slow. So back to the drawing board. I think tried a few things, didn't work out, so we'll figure it out.
How much do you feel the team understand this car at the moment?
I think we understand the limitations of it, but to fix it is another issue. So yeah, we're not quite sold on it at the minute, so it's tricky.
Do you have to look at the sprint almost as a testing session then?
Yes, we're already treating the weekend a bit like a practice session. So yeah.
George, congratulations,
Thank
another
you.
weekend, another pole.
Yeah.
Talk us through it from your side.
The car's been really great this whole day, and also the engine is performing more, let's say, normal compared to what we saw in Melbourne, where you obviously had those big D-rates. It was a bit challenging to drive. It was a bit challenging in Q3 because the wind picked up, and I think us and McLaren sort of lost a bit of speed in the straight. But the car's been really great, and it was a joy to drive.
What's your thinking for tomorrow? We saw what happened at the start in Australia, of course. You got your teammate just behind you, Lando, Lewis. What are you expecting? A fight from them, or can you breeze ahead from where you are?
You can't expect anything, expect the unexpected. I don't know what's going to happen. My practice start this morning was much better, probably one of my best of the season. We're obviously improving so much in that regard, and the full focus since Melbourne has been on how we can improve those starts. Thankfully, the two guys around me are two Mercedes engines, so hopefully there's not going to be any fast starts in Ferrari zoom by. But then the race is going to be, I think we're going to struggle with graining. We saw last year graining was quite a factor, tyres were dropping off, so let's see what we can do.
Isaac, I know you won't be too happy with a P10. Was it half a second on the straight you ended up losing in the end? Tell me what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened yet and why we lost half a second, but I was happy with my lap. It was good, but yeah, in the end, it doesn't change. I don't think that is going to change our weekend. So yeah, I'm just happy to be not too far from Max.
What was the car feeling like out there, and what were you dealing with?
We need a bit more of everything, more grip, a bit more power maybe, and yeah, that's it. We're just very far off Mercedes, a lot more than we were last weekend.
And that's a surprise? You were expecting it to be much better around here?
No, I was expecting the McLaren and the Ferrari to be ahead, but I didn't expect the gap overall to increase.
Fernando, it must be frustrating. I know you want to fight for more, but what can you tell us about that session from your side? Did you learn any more about the car? How was it feeling out there?
No, not really. I think only 2 laps now in quali. Yeah, we did some laps in FP, and yeah, we tried to get better on the chassis side until the engine is what it is. So yeah, we tried to improve more for tomorrow, but I think the limit is more or less. I think Williams are like 3 tenths in front. They were 8 tenths in Australia, I think. So yeah, we made some progress, but obviously still far away.
What does the rest of the weekend look like for you in the situation that you're in at the moment?
Try to complete laps. Obviously, we don't have any more stock on the power unit, so yeah, any problem could be, very difficult for us for the rest of the weekend. So we need to survive on reliability and then learn as much as we can.
Nico, just missing out on SQ3 there. How do you review that session from your side?
Yeah, pity. I mean, on one side a pity to miss out by that little. On the other hand, not a bad result either. We had some issues in SQ2, didn't have any radio comms anymore to the team, so that obviously is a little bit more difficult, being blind in the car, just managing things on my own, not getting any feedback, which didn't help, but yeah, otherwise quite positive.
How are you feeling in the car overall, and then looking ahead to the sprint race tomorrow, what you think you might be able to do?
Feeling decent. I think from this morning it felt not in a bad spot. Seems like we're in the midfield fight again, so yeah, that's what we'll try to do tomorrow.
Gabby, how was that out there for you this afternoon? We saw in SQ1 a bit of a moment at the final corner and some radio messages from you as well about potential gearing issue. How did it go from your side?
Yeah, I mean, just a few problems, I think, since FP1 with our power unit, things that we are discovering for the first time. Obviously, it's a new type of track, so you reach different ranges of corners and type of things that we haven't experienced before. So yeah, I had a few problems today, unfortunately, and yeah, it feels like we were always in the back foot.
Where does this leave you for the rest of the weekend? Obviously the sprint coming up tomorrow. After that you can make some changes as well, so a chance to experiment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's see what we can achieve in the sprint race tomorrow. You know, it's a race obviously that everyone knows is quite a pushy race, short race, and then we will try to just fix some of our problems in the background and go for quali and try our best there.
Liam, a P13, how did the car feel out there, and do you think you got everything out of it during that session?
Yeah, to be honest, I was actually quite happy with. We made a good set from practice to quali with setup, and honestly, it was not a bad lap. We just struggled a little bit more here than last week. I think Melbourne really suited our car, and I think here it's not as good for us. So we need to try and do some work for tomorrow because in terms of setup, I actually felt quite happy.
What about the tyre degradation? Loads complaining about the front left around here. How was yours, and are there any positives to take into the race tomorrow and even on Sunday?
No, it was no good. Similar to everybody, we had a lot of graining. So it's going to be tough tomorrow for sure. But we saw last year a lot of graining in the sprint and then less in the race. So it's probably going to change through the weekend. It's very cold. So it's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be a challenge tomorrow.
Arvid, after a lack of running earlier, it was a good recovery drive from you. How are you feeling right now, though, about that P15 position?
Not particularly happy. I don't know. I think considering it's my first time here and I did about 2 laps in P1, to be relatively close and okay, I don't think is too bad. But P15 is not really where I or the team want to be. Liam was a little bit better, but still I don't think was much more competitive. I mean, we're both out, so for sure there's things I'm going to look at myself tonight because he was a bit better, see what I can improve for tomorrow. But then we'll also look as a collective what we can do to try to make a step for the real qualifying. But yeah, a bit of main focus on the sprint race tomorrow, but also looking ahead to the qualifying in the afternoon.
What are the challenges you're finding on this track in your car?
In that session, I don't know, I just felt pretty low grip. I felt quite confident actually with the car this morning. I felt quite happy. But then, I don't know, it just didn't feel very nice. Sort of bit of entry instability, understeer apex, just was moving around a little bit. So yeah, anyway, I think in the end my teammate was faster than me, so I'm going to look at myself first, see what I can do to be better.
Frustrations, 2 100ths off being out there in SQ3 right now, or are you pleased with the performance? You got everything out of it. What do you feel?
No, not really pleased, no, for sure. We can't be pleased with that, but we are working hard, obviously, to get the car where we want it to be, and I think that was slightly better from FP1 to now. I think there are still quite a few things that we need to obviously investigate to get it better for tomorrow, but there are potential that we can get it better, so we need to try and obviously get the maximum out of it tomorrow, and hopefully get on top of our issues.
Where do you feel the level of understanding of this car is at the moment? I know it's only the second race weekend.
No, I think it's quite high. We know where we have to put it. We're just struggling to make it happen really, but it is possible.
Pierre, great effort to get into SQ3. How was that on your side?
Yeah, I must say extremely pleased with that, especially after last week. I think we found a lot more performance. I think good learning from Melbourne. Try to put everything together today, and then I felt a lot better in the car straight from the first lap. So I think it's good to feel in the mix and be in the top 10 again.
In the mix, eyes on some more points tomorrow?
Yeah, 100%. I think, as I say, I've been feeling good in the car. It's definitely more potential than we've seen in Melbourne. So confident. Let's see what we get. Obviously, graining was pretty bad for everyone this morning, so it's going to be a nice challenge. But I'm looking forward to it.
Franco, P16 in that session. What were you finding was the challenge out there on track?
It was tricky today. I didn't know the track, and that made it a bit more difficult. I think the car was not in a bad place in P1, but just couldn't do a step into the sprint quality that I wanted, and we lacked a bit of pace compared to Pierre. The car was quick. Pierre showed that we went through to Q3, so that's positive for the team, but I need to understand a bit more on my side.
What are you expecting then from the sprint tomorrow? Where do you think you are?
To learn a bit more of the car and try to get better for quali.
Hi Lance, how did you find that session? Did you find any answers to anything? Are you still struggling as much as in Australia?
Yes.
The gap to Williams looks a little bit smaller though. Is that a positive you can take, or what can you take from today?
We're not here to, fight for 19th or whatever. So yeah, a lot of things to work on, but we expected it. We didn't expect any miracles from Melbourne to China. So yeah, that's what it is.
Alright everyone, welcome to the channel. We just finished the sprint qualifying and it was really interesting. The sprint qualifying in Shanghai gave us a pretty clear picture of the early competitive order of the weekend. After the session, the top 5 drivers shared their thoughts and all of other drivers also. But I'm just gonna do a recap of what others said and what was the most interesting things, and then you can watch the videos of all of them. So George Russell, the sprint pole positioner. George was the big story of the session, putting the Mercedes on the sprint pole with a dominating lap and leading the session through. After qualifying, Russell said that he was extremely happy with the performance of the car, especially compared to the opening race in Melbourne. He explained that everything came together during the lap. The tire warm-up, the balance of the car, especially the energy deployment, so he might be like getting really getting in together with the car, so he understands the car with the new regulation better from the other drivers, let's say like that. Or maybe the speculations are true and Mercedes have something done that's not legal or in the regulation of FIA. So we will need to wait and see what's gonna happen. I hope Russell won't get disappointed just like how he got disappointed in 2025 when he got disqualified after winning the race. Russell also said that Mercedes seems to have a package that works very well at this track and believes the team is in a strong position going into the sprint race. We will need to see that. After that, we have his teammate on P2, Kimi Antonelli. He is tending to surprise everyone, or he has a car that is a bit faster than the others, or something to do with the engine that's not in the regulation of FIA. So something is fishy, but we need to see what's going to happen. Antonelli said that the lap felt strong, but admitted there was still a couple of corners where he lost time compared to Russell. He also mentioned that managing the new hybrid energy system during the lap is still something drivers are learning, especially when they decided to deploy the battery for maximum speed. Still, Antonelli said that starting on the front row for the sprint race is a great opportunity for Mercedes. We got the champion on P3. He said that it was a solid result for McLaren after a disastrous race that they had at Melbourne. He explained that the margins are extremely tight this season and the small mistakes are slightly wrong. Energy deployment can easily cost a few tenths of a second. He also pointed out that the sprint race could still mix up, especially with slipstreams and battery usage. So there are a lot of small things that you can take and then use it against your opponent. So you need just to find the right moment, the right time, the right deployment, the usage of the battery and things like that. P4 we have the 7 times world champion, for me 8-time world champion, you know that already. Lewis Hamilton finished 4th for Ferrari. He said that the session showed clear progress for the team. Hamilton explained that Ferrari are still learning how to extract the maximum performance from the new car, but overall he felt the balance was improving throughout the sessions. He also said that starting close to the front could give Ferrari a chance to fight during the sprint race if they get a strong start. On P5 we have Oscar Piastri. Piastri, after having a disastrous start of the season with McLaren, rounded up on the top 5 and admitted the lap wasn't perfect. Said that McLaren had he said for McLaren he had a strong pace earlier in the session but struggled slightly in the final sprint quali 3 run to put everything together. I'm sorry. Early in the morning. However, he still believes that McLaren has a good race pace and that the sprint race could allow him to move forward. Overall, for the other drivers' reaction after sprint, most of the drivers agreed on one thing, that the 2026 Formula One cars are extremely difficult to maximize over a single lap, mainly because of the heavily reliance on the hybrid energy. So they hate the car. Everyone hates the car, even though some of them loves it because they are winning, let's say like that. But everyone hates the car because there is not a thing naturally you can control and show your potential as a driver, because all the work is done by the car itself. You know, it's like a video game. Like Max Verstappen said, like this car feels like a Mario Kart. The one corner you're ahead, the other corner is the opponent ahead. So it's like Mario Kart. You go in front, you go back. You go front, you go back. So it's like, I don't know, it's crazy. But we will have to wait and see. Like, let's be patient, give some time, maybe it will get better. If not, we will pray to God FIA brings the V10 engines, and then we will see Ferrari what does. Drivers now have a careful decision when to deploy the battery power of during the lap, especially at a track like Shanghai, when with one of the longest races on the calendar. And that means that strategy and energy momentum could play a huge role in deciding the sprint. With these cars, battery is a key component to win a race and to overtake and do things like that. Tire management is the other thing, because these cars eat tires for dinner, brother, and they need to be careful. Also, the other thing is consistency and team strategy. That's it from my side. Thank you everyone for watching this video with us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe our channel. If you have something to add up, comment down below. We will see you in the next one.